Hi, everyone. We are talking about veganism and animal cruelty. This is a sensitive and controversial topic, but also an important one. Whether you eat meat or not, please listen to this message with an open mind. We often take for granted the food we have, especially if we eat animals, since we don't have to go out and hunt and kill another living creature for food. We simply go to the grocery store, which has everything we could imagine. However, many of us may not be aware of the abuse that goes on at farms to acquire the meat we eat, such as beef, chicken, and pig. We are intelligent creatures who are civilized and evolved from our ancestors who hunted to survive. In the modern world, we have a choice in what we consume, but eating animal products is no longer a necessity. We don't require them to be healthy, so why do we still eat them? It's because we have been conditioned to eating them. In the United States especially, many meals consist of meat, fat, carbs, and sugar. Many Americans have no interest or taste for fruits and vegetables because they aren't used to it. When you change your diet and begin eating more fruits and vegetables, you begin to want it more, and your body will change to reflect that. Farming and blatant cruelty of animals is different from that of a hunter getting his own food. On a farm, animals are treated poorly and tortured to death for an easy profit. In the wild, they are free to live, and if they are hunted by another animal or a human, that pain and suffering is not as intense. However, due to overpopulation of the world, this form of hunting is largely implausible. Where do you stand on what you consider ethical? Is it ethical to hunt an animal? Is it ethical to kill an animal? Is it ethical to eat a dead animal? Is it ethical to torture an animal or eat a tortured dead animal? You may answer these with a mix of yes and no, depending on your beliefs. If you truly see animals on this planet as lower life forms than as humans, how would you feel if a higher life form invaded this planet and took your best friend or a family member to kill, cook, and eat when there were other alternatives available? While we are more intelligent than other life forms on this planet, does that really make us superior to them? Are we truly better than everything we perceive as below us on the food chain? We think we are better than other humans, so of course we think we are better than animals, but deep down, we are all the same. What if we worked on a farm, torturing and slaughtering cows, and were there later reincarnated in another life as the very cow we were abusing? Would we want that done on ourselves? If you look at these animals like they are your brother and sister, your friends and family, would you still want to make them suffer, be killed, and eat them? When you think from that perspective, you begin to respect and admire all living creatures on this planet. You form a bond and love for them and see them as a part of expression of the universe, an extension of yourself. Even if we do eat them, we can do so without the amount of suffering that factory farming inflicts on the animal. Our bodies were designed to process all sorts of food, including other living creatures. But our bodies are not intended to absorb the amount of negative energy that comes from factory farming. That negativity is passed on to the meat that you eat and becomes your burden. The negativity of what the animal went through is now part of your energetic field. When you begin to notice that everything in this world is a reflection of yourself, that everything is connected, everything is equal, then harming another living creature becomes difficult. Would you harm your family and friends? Would you do harm to your pets? If no, then why do you harm other living creatures such as cows, pigs, chickens, and other birds, wildlife, fish, insects, and any other living creature? Why do you view these precious living creatures so much lower than yourself that all you see is nutrients for your own body? Isn't that selfish of us? Farmers, hunters, and fishermen only see these other living creatures as food for the rest of the population. These animals are bred and tortured to provide the best meat for for maximum profits. They don't live a healthy life, but are born into this world for the sole reason of being killed and eaten. What about all the mice who are solely born and used for science experiments? Torture and kill another animal for the sake of science? This is bringing negativity into the science field as well, and many don't know how to properly channel this negative energy, and it does play an impact on a person. Would you want to be raised for the sole purpose of being food for another living creature? Would you want to be held captive against your will until you are ripe enough to be killed for food? If no, then why do you do this to other living creatures? How are they any different from you? When you see the world and everyone in it as equal, there is no difference between us humans and animals. You may not directly harm animals with your bare hands, but buying meat and dairy products contributes to these animals suffering because it increases demand for these products. Factory farming is cruel and brings a lot of negativity into the animals and the food that is made from them. This is a sad fact of the world we live in today, but we can do our part so we don't contribute to it. Just one person can make a profound difference, so do your part and what you feel is necessary. Avoiding animal products can be difficult and is an acquired taste, but it's not unhealthy like some skeptics make it appear. You can be healthy and unhealthy on any type of diet. We can all try to make a difference, thinking it will stop the cruelty of animals, but unfortunately, there is no way to stop this. We can each do our part, but the laws of the universe are that of life and death. We are born, consume other living things to grow, reproduce, and then die. The cycle of life and death. We need food to survive. We eat other living creatures to satisfy our needs. It's so incredibly selfish when you look at it, but that's the law of this universe. We cannot change the fact that all living creatures eat one another to survive. Our very existence brings pain and suffering to other humans, animals, and any living thing. Even when we do not intend to or are aware that our existence brings pain to others, we still contribute to pain and suffering on some level. The best we can do is feed our ego with the idea that we are making a difference, even if it's but a small one. Our ego needs verification that we are doing something to stop the suffering on this planet. We can make that difference and will make that difference by fighting for what we feel is right. If you think eating animals is wrong and wish to lessen their suffering, start today. And the same applies to how we emotionally hurt one another. If you hate someone or are holding a grudge, let it go and forgive to lessen their pain and suffering and yours. We've all suffered enough. It's time to spread peace and positivity, letting others know that they are worth it and loved. The moral of this message is that our existence brings pain and suffering to others, including animals. We torture, kill, and eat them, inflicting incredible amounts of suffering to them. It brings me great sadness to know that we don't treat all living creatures equally. We are all the same at the deepest level, including animals. So why do we make them suffer to great extent just to feed the rest of the population? Thank you for sharing and supporting this information and making a difference in the world. Your input is valuable. So if you have any questions or comments, please make your voice heard. By working towards a common goal together, we can accomplish so much more. Sign up for my free email newsletter for future updates. And a big thank you to all my supporters. Have a wonderful day.